live, bro. We here. I'm here.
You back there.
Yeah, see you back there.
You in the frame, you know.
See?
You can't see me.
Yeah. We can. I mean. Okay.
You're going to be doing all of that.
I know, right? I'm supposed to be in the way. All right.
It's already recorded.
Yeah, we in broadcast live. Good. Yeah. All right, man. CouchPotatoGM.com is the website. Couch Potato General Manager of the YouTube channel. You know it because you're on it. Coordinate. Have you coordinated this morning? Did you coordinate this afternoon or this evening? If you don't know what I'm talking about, it's unfortunate. Mr. Witherspoon, John.
Yeah, R.I.P. man.
Yeah, man. We love him. Coordinate. That's all I'm saying.
A lot of jokes.
Bang, bang, bang,
bang, bang, bang, bang.
All
and
that,
don't go
man.
in there for how many minutes?
45
minutes. Okay. There we go. We got it. See? Yeah. Okay. All right, man. So we're here to talk about the game of the week as we do every week. We have the New England, the greatest defense ever, Patriots at the Lamar, not Miller, but Jackson Ravens. Ooh, this is going to be a matchup of epic proportions to AFC teams. I saw a stat on Twitter. I think it was the Patriots had beat them they got like an 8-1 record or 5-1 record, something like that. So it was a lot more wins on a lot more W's than L's that the Patriots have delivered to the.
But isn't that like most teams though?
Well, with the Patriots,
yeah.
I mean, maybe except for the Dolphins.
Yeah, the
Adam Gates Dolphins, you know. Yeah. But let's talk about the Patriots last week. They went ahead and dropped 27 on the Browns, 27-13 win. Baker Mayfield, have y'all seen what he's talking about these days?
He's getting into it, huh?
I mean, you know, he wears his feelings on his shoulders, or however they call that.
Heart of his sleeves.
Yeah, you know, that's where he be at. But I just want to get into this real quick, bro. I need to question it. I need to put it out there. Who have the Patriots played? I know we've discussed this about the Dallas Cowboys, and I'm asking y'all right now, who have the Patriots played? I understand you play who's on your schedule and you beat them. That's fine. Everybody's giving the Patriots defense love, and it's a good defense. I just don't know how good it is because they played
the Jets twice.
Sammy the Savior.
They beat the Dolphins.
Okay.
The Redskins.
Ryan Fitzpatrick. Who's the quarterback for them? For the Redskins?
Man, it's a toss-up right now.
Okay. All right.
They're playing musical chairs over there.
Mm-hmm.
They beat the Giants.
Okay.
Danny Dimes.
Okay.
The Bills. You know, the Bills has a great defense.
But the offense is the issue.
The offense is the issue. Mm-hmm. Passing offense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's it, man. And the Steelers. They beat the Steelers' first game of the season.
Okay. And Steelers, they were trying to find themselves.
Yeah, still may not have found themselves yet, but
unfortunately, Ben is chilling over there with his was it stump? His hand? I don't know. Who cares? But I'm just putting it out there because you know I know that the Patriots, what are they 19 interceptions.
Yeah, 19 interceptions.
And have allowed two touchdowns. I mean,
that's ridiculous.
That is ridiculous. And not only are we talking about the quarterbacks they played, but we're talking about the wide receivers they faced, which is it hasn't been good, man. But again, I'm not hating on it. I'm just throwing it out there as a question. Would you like to jump in? Would you like to
interject?
Yeah, because we was talking off air and you was trying to. You know, you was giving her a whole lot of fluff, bro. You was.
I think you have a tendency to exaggerate a lot of things.
Okay.
Most things. I think the Patriots, obviously, they played who they played. I agree with both of them. You know, that they haven't faced really competent offenses. You know, it's all been below average or bad to this point. But the level of dominance that you do see. You understand what I'm saying? Week to week, the consistency associated with it. You know, the fact that, you know, everybody seems to be exactly where they're supposed to be. Everything is being challenged. You know, I think, yeah, of course, when the level of talent that they're facing and the more competent offenses and play callers that they face, yeah, they're going to give up more yardage. They're going to give up more points. But I don't foresee, outside of them not scoring a defensive touchdown in every single game,
ridiculous.
I don't foresee this team just falling apart by any stretch of the imagination. Yeah. You know, we talk about them not having been tested yet. Yeah. Well, you know, and it's, you know, you got to obviously take this with a grain of salt. But coming out of training camp, Tom Brady said, "Yeah, we have some work to do offensively," and then You know, because he's facing this defense day in and day out in practices, right? Throughout camp. And then he realized, oh, well, these other teams are really struggling against these defenses too. And I'm not talking about just regular season, I'm talking about preseason as well. You know, when that first team offense was in, you know, for either a quarter or a couple of drives or a half, or whatever the case may be, and you see this dominance has been the case throughout from the summer until through the 8th week of the regular season. New England has been firing on all cylinders defensively. And I think, while it is a little premature to start comparing them to the 85 Bears and 2000 Ravens, they are putting historic numbers up. Now, again, you have to take that with a grain of salt. You have to juxtapose that against who they've been playing. But, again, I don't see, even as they play better competition in the second half of the season, I don't foresee them dropping off huge or anything. Like Gilmore's still playing at a very high level. You got a bunch of other guys starting to step up. Kyle Van Noy, I don't even know who this guy is.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You know, Jamie Collins is playing like a defensive player of the year. There's some other guys out there that, you know, are obviously in that mix too, but he's been incredible. You know what I mean? Going back to New England. So I just don't foresee this, you know, seismic drop off in terms of how well they're playing defensively. The only thing I do expect, I hope, for the sake of the rest of the league, is the fact that they don't score a couple defensive TDs every week.
Yeah, man, it's ridiculous. I said it off air. It's kind of remind me of Alabama a couple of years ago, where you expect them to score a defensive touchdown every game, man. So when you see it, it's like, hey, this is the
Par
usual.
for the course.
Par for the course, man. So, but, you know, speaking of that defense and who they face, I think the next 5 weeks is going to be really important to see, man, because they play the Ravens this week, which we're going to get into the matchup. They play the Eagles. Probably the best offense that they played out of the rest of the teams that we said earlier. The Cowboys, Texans, and the Chiefs. And Mahomes should be back for that game. So there's going to be a lot of...
We're going to get revved up here.
A lot of revved up, man, for real.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Then I'll back off. So can I go ahead and go to the Patriots offense?
Okay.
And the run game, that's struggling. Sony Michel can't catch, apparently.
That's what they're saying.
They have played many young QBs.
That's it. I mean, you know, they did play one extra old one, Ryan Fitzpatrick, if I'm not mistaken. But I mean,
that team is going through transition.
Yeah,
obviously.
Yeah, they are.
You know what Belichick do to those young QBs too, man.
Tear them up. He played cover zero.
Yeah,
you know,
and they can't pick up the blitz.
Send more than you can block. Figure it out.
Ghosts out there.
But with the Patriots offense, I know they've struggled to run the football. The offensive line isn't as strong as it's been in years past. And then you talk about the passing game with the receivers. You know, we've gone from an Antonio Brown. We've gone to a Josh Gordon. That's just your favorite? That's
your guy?
No, that's Josh Gordon did exactly what Josh Gordon would do every season if he not playing a full season for whatever the reason is. I mean, I know we got the Philip Dorsett, but it's been a little bit of a musical chairs, if you will, with the receivers. So, you know, and things just aren't going as well with that offense, just because, you know, all of that. But I mean, they're going against the Ravens defense, man. That's kind of come back to the Ravens defense that we've known and we've loved. You know, I know that, you know, earlier in the season they got kind of ate up for, you know, 2 straight games, maybe 3 straight games after playing the Chiefs. Looks like they've come back home. They mollywopped Russell Wilson and the Seahawks. And thought that game was going to be a little bit closer than it was, but it looks like, you know, the new acquisition in Marcus Peters showed up.
He made one play.
I mean, ain't that what he do though?
Yeah, he did the Marcus Peters, peel off his man, get interception. Bad decision by Russell. You know, he does one of those a year. So, you know, you just got to chalk that up. But yeah, man, this Ravens defense is, and Lamar Jackson took over that game also, man. Running the football, passing the football, he did it all, man. He outplayed Russell in that game. But in this matchup right here, it's gonna be hard to outplay the GOAT, man.
You know, you were talking about the Patriots receiving core and how it's kind of been in flux, obviously, you know, that whole AV situation, with Josh Gordon, as you mentioned. When you start thinking about it now, though, as guys get healthy, you know, after the acquisition of Mohamed Sanu, you know, now you're looking at an Edelman, Sanu, Dorsett, Jacoby Myers, and N'Keal Harry. That ain't bad.
No, it's not.
You know what
It's
I
not.
mean? And it's particularly when you're playing with Tom Brady, who's going to throw it to the open receiver. Now, there's still a question mark at tight end, and I think that's part of the reason why this offense hasn't necessarily been firing on all cylinders.
Yeah.
They lost, their center, David Andrews at the beginning of the season. Isaiah Wynn, Trent Brown. You know what I mean? There's been some, and of course, as we always say, that's where everything starts. But in terms of the receiving options, and you factor in a James White out of the backfield, Rex Burkhead, Brandon Bolden, for that matter. If we're going with the narrative that Sony Michel can't catch the football, they have enough receiving options. They have enough guys who do enough different things to get the job done. So, which brings me to the Ravens, as you were alluding to, Drew. They have played better in recent weeks. I didn't expect, and maybe I was being a bit too presumptuous, looking through rose-colored glasses. They lost a lot of personnel defensively. I thought, just the way the Ravens have done historically, it's the next man up. Mm-hmm. I thought they'd be able to continue to go on because we were talking about guys who are a little bit longer in the tooth, but they weren't ready. They've seemingly kind of settled in. They've made a couple of moves. You mentioned the Marcus Peters acquisition. I think the big thing here for the Ravens is getting Jimmy Smith back, because if you get Jimmy Smith back, you can employ more man coverage. And I think that's when the Ravens will be at their best, when they can let those linebackers fire, blitz, get upfield, make plays, create some havoc, and actually be able to cover on the back end. Right now, it's just been Marlon Humphrey. Even Earl Thomas hasn't looked great in his.
You think will be on Edelman? Will they play sides or match?
Who do you think would be on Edelman when they play sides or match up? That's gonna be Marlon Humphrey.
Marlon Humphrey typically covers the slot, so he's gonna get a lot of Edelman. That's what I expect.
That's what I expect too.
That's what I expect. And I think that's the appropriate matchup. You gotta trust that the other guys will be able to hold up against, the Dorsets, the Snooze of the world. You know what I mean? But I know it's going to be a really good matchup because, of course, Edelman with the option routes and his savvy goes a long way, and Humphrey, one of the better young defensive backs in the league. So that's going to be a big matchup, and that could be the difference in this game in terms of New England being able to extend drives, converting some third downs, or the Ravens getting off the field.
Yeah, man. The matchup I'm looking at in this game, I'm going to go to the other side of the ball. I'm looking at the Ravens run game versus that Patriots defense. Just from what I saw last week with Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb had a couple fumbles, 2 fumbles in that game, but he was able to effectively run the ball down the Patriots' throat, man. I think he had over 150 yards rushing, something of that nature. So it's like, we know the Ravens can run the football. Mark Ingram's a quality back. Lamar Jackson uses his legs as well. So just try to bully the Patriots, be physical with them, keep Tom Brady off of the field. I think that's the matchup that I'm looking at. If the Ravens could accomplish that, I think they could pull this upset off.
This game, to me, we talked about. So you mentioned the Ravens' ability to run the football versus the Patriots' ability to stop the run, obviously. I think last week, and I don't want to take anything away from Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb is phenomenal. In fact, Nick Chubb, at this juncture, I think is a more talented back than what Mark Ingram brings to the table.
Yeah, most definitely.
So that's not necessarily like apples-to-apples comparison. The wild card, obviously, is Lamar. However, I expect New England to do a ton of spying, to mix things up and make it difficult to recognize the mic and really confuse the blocking schemes of the Ravens. So we'll see how ultimately Greg Roman, Paul Johnson, those guys adjust to what New England's doing to slow down Lamar, Mark Ingram, that rushing attack. But more importantly, it comes down to the trenches on either side of the ball. Which team controls the line of scrimmage? We know what Lamar can do as a dynamic playmaker, whether it be his arms or his legs. We know what Tom Brady brings to the table. He's a cerebral assassin. He's going to get the ball out. He's going to be accurate. You know what I mean? They're going to find the mismatch and they're going to exploit it. But can they protect? Can they get a push? And I'm asking that on both sides of the ball. That to me is ultimately where a game like this with 2 physical teams, 2 teams that put a lot of responsibility on their defense, I think that's ultimately where this game is going to be decided.
Yeah, and speaking to that, the Ravens have to stay out of 3rd and long. They have to stay ahead of the chains. and you know, get good yardage in first and second down, because if they're in third and long, that's a big question mark. Like you said, can they protect Lamar Jackson?
No, that's not the same Earl that we know.
Oh, that's Earl?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Michael Bennett is now with the Cowboys.
Yeah, but what you saying? You good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. All right. Just checking in on the Cowboy fan over here. Okay, man. Let's talk about point spread, man. Point spread's 3.
3.
-3 for the Patriots.
Definitely.
So that means that if the Patriots are at home, it's gonna be a +6 game, maybe 6.5, something like that. So Vegas essentially expect the Patriots to win this game. Let me ask you something. Would you be surprised if the Ravens won the game? Let me say this. What would have to happen? What is the one thing that would have to happen for the Patriots, or excuse me, for the Ravens to win this game, or for the Patriots to lose this game? Let me put it that way.
I mean, the Ravens, they get paid too, and this is a good football team, you know. And I think they have room to grow as well. I would not be shocked. I would not be shocked. I wouldn't be flabbergasted by it. Would I find it a little surprising? Yes, but it wouldn't be, oh my goodness, what has happened? You know,
I
the
think
world
one of those
is no longer on its
brothers
axis.
is Jonas Spy. Those
You understand what I'm
to
saying?
contain and not get upfield like they're playing a pocket passer.
So the way I think about this is in terms of what would have to happen in order for the Ravens to win this game. You know, I'm curious as to what Hollywood Brown's availability is going to be. I think the Ravens need a couple of those quick strike TDs, big plays. You understand what I'm saying? Because it's going to be very difficult to matriculate the ball down the field against this New England defense, for one. And the Ravens, let's be honest, and I'm not going to put this on Lamar necessarily, but their passing attack as a whole still has work. There's still work that needs to happen there. You understand what I'm saying? You know, the one main receiving threat is Mark Andrews. I anticipate Stephon Gilmore is going to be all over him. Going to just shut that down. You know what I mean? Unless they do have a Hollywood Brown or Miles Boykin making that big play, even with a Steve for that matter, making that big play. I think they're going to need 1 or 2 or 3 play drives that result in a touchdown to win this game.
Yeah, man. Just speaking of Hollywood, he's expected to play. You know, got the bye week to rest up, but that's exactly where I was going to go, man. The big play. You know, we spoke about staying ahead of the sticks for the Ravens, but they're going to need some big plays, man. I think a couple of them to beat the Patriots, and I think they could get that on first down. You know, the Patriots probably going to expect them to run the ball on first down, pass the ball more on first downs, get those big plays in the passing game, and attack the field that way. So I think, that's where I was going as well. The big plays for the Ravens. That's how the Patriots lose.
Okay. Well, I mean, y'all got scores. I mean, what you? I'm gonna say it, man. I'm going. And I was hating on the Patriots earlier. Yeah. I'm gonna continue the hate.
There you go.
I'm gonna go 31 to 14.
31 to
Ravens.
14.
I'm just.
Wow.
I just feel like they're gonna be able to. I think everything's gonna work out for the Patriots.
Oh, you said 31-14 Patriots.
No, Ravens. I'm sorry,
oh,
Ravens.
Okay.
Ravens. 31-14 Ravens, and I feel like the Ravens are going to be able to run the football effectively, and I think it's going to be a big surprise for the Patriots, and I feel like, along with them being able to run the football, like y'all spoke about, the big play is just going to be there to be had because of the run game.
Baltimore 2-8 Pats 2-1.
I think it's impossible to be 31-14.
Okay.
To be honest. Nothing's impossible.
Okay.
But the Patriots getting blown out 31-14.
Yeah.
I can see the Ravens winning. But Brady ain't gonna let that happen. He gonna come back.
Okay.
He's gonna come back, make some drives, make it close.
If he's healthy, it's not gonna be a wash like that. I don't think.
Okay.
I think
that's bold though. That's bold.
No, that's not bold.
Say it with your chest.
No,
So my ball, Zach Ertz, he has Baltimore 28, Pats 21. I'm going 33. Pats 33, Baltimore 24. That's what I'm thinking. I think the Patriots pull away in the end. I think Lamar makes some spectacular plays. I also think New England forces Lamar into a mistake or two. You know what I mean? Because and this is how I feel about it. And Lamar is the ultimate X factor, but I feel, especially as competitive as he is, there's going to be a time where that young quarterback facing a Bill Belichick-led defense presses. Instead of taking what the defense gives you, living to fight another down, especially, again, with Lamar being the playmaker that he is, he's probably going to do a little too much one or two times, and that'll be the difference in the game. I'm not suggesting that Lamar won't play well. I think Lamar is actually going to play well in this game. But it'll be enough. It'll be enough. And the mistakes that because we talk about this being a game of inches, the mistakes that young players make, young quarterbacks make, you know, in terms of pressing, facing Belichick, versus that of Brady, who even if he does make a mistake, it's typically mitigated by either his play or the play of this defense, right? I think that's enough to get New England in the win column yet again.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. I'm gonna go 27-20 Patriots. I just think it's just hard to bet against Brady and Belichick. I expect, like we talked about it, that they get the running backs involved in the pass game. I think a big game for James White in this one. Yeah, man, 27-20 Patriots.
The Ravens really struggle to defend running backs out of the backfield. You know, whether it be the screen game, whether it be the swing passes, you know, covering the wheel routes. And the Patriots have several backs that can make plays in the passing game. And the beauty of it is that Brady has no issue just throwing the ball to his backs out of the backfield. He's going to take ultimately what the defense gives him. You know, hopefully the Ravens can, and that's where, you know, you mentioned it, Drew, at the top, or before we actually went on air, is, you know, you want the Patriots to demonstrate that they can beat zone. I think they will, and as soon as they go into man, I think that locks down what goes down in terms of the receivers, or slows them down, but it puts the linebackers in a bind against the running back. So, you know, it's going to be a pick your poison type of situation. I think. I don't think the Ravens do a good enough job on a consistent basis. Although they did it in Seattle. Yeah. Although they did manage it in Seattle, I think they're playing against a better offensive line, a better coached offensive line in New England. So, in not being able to get that consistent pass rush with 3 or 4 down linemen, I think that'll be the difference.
Yeah, and I guess that's the question, man. This question we had before we taped is what the Ravens are going to do. Are they going to play zone, or are they going to play man? They've been playing predominantly zone defense this season, but the zone defense, like you said, Brady picks that apart every time. It's too easy for Brady when you play zone. The Steelers showed that when they played zone against Brady. The film shows that you got to man up against the Patriots to have any success. But like you said, when you man up, it leaves your running backs against the linebackers. You know, Brady's going to pick that apart also. So where are you going, Drew? Man, zone? What do you think the Ravens should do?
I talked about it, man. I'm gonna show you some zone until you can beat it. When you beat it, we can jump to man, or we can kind of, you know, play it back and forth, play it based on the down distance. I think you're gonna get a good combination of it, but I would start off. I would start off with zone, man.
No, I completely agree with that comment. Edelman eats zone up, and
that's fine.
And that's fine. And I understand. Like we said, we've already had this conversation. The Patriots will drive down the field and then force you out of that zone. They will force you out of that zone eventually. That's my thought process. But like we mentioned, it's going to put the Ravens in a bind. Okay. In terms of the linebackers having to cover those running backs out of the backfield. And let's say the Ravens decide, you know what, we're going to play with more defensive backs on the field. We're going to drop a safety down and we're going to play more. Well, then they're going to get in the eye and they're going to hit you in the mouth. Yeah. You understand what I'm saying? I just don't know that the Ravens currently have the personnel to be able to go 4 down linemen or 4 rushers, get consistent pressure on the quarterback while playing man on the back end, and the linebackers being able to match up against the running backs in the flat and in the intermediate, short to intermediate parts of the field. I'm not convinced of it because I haven't seen it to this point.
You're not convinced of it, but you think that's the best way to approach it.
I think that is the best way to approach it. You know, again,
it's a lot, bro.
The Ravens are better now than they were 2 weeks ago.
Absolutely.
4 weeks ago. You understand what I'm saying? 6 weeks ago. But is it good enough at this juncture?
And by the way, these boys coming off a bye week, and didn't the Patriots play on Monday night? So they're coming off a short week to a team on a bye week.
They played Monday night.
Sunday night, okay, my bad. Yeah. Still,
Monday night game was
Dolphins. Oh, Lord Jesus.
Where were you at?
Not
I think
watching.
You were sleeping that game.
No, I'm not doing that to myself. Why would I? That's
I watched it.
It was
I had the Steelers defense, and they came out flat and lost for fantasy by 2 points.
hurt.
The
Defense
Dolphins
and scored like 20 points, but
Yeah, the Dolphins jumped out and then they
Yeah.
activated tank mode.
Right.
They activated. It's like, hey, hold on.
engaged tank. mode.
Engage tank mode. Let's play 40 yards off.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, run this engage 8.
Oh, no,
Let's run this
opposite.
engage
My
8.
bad. Let's play engage 8
Yes.
on this down.
Yes.
You know, on 4th and 20 or 3rd and 20.
Is that still a play? Engage it? That's still a play?
That's what they ran.
But is that in Madden? That's still a play. But
Yeah. It's in Madden.
but
That's suicide though.
let's talk about these trades, man, or these would have should have been trades. AJ Green still with the Bengals.
Yep.
Trent Williams still with the Redskins.
Yep.
Yo, can I just say something about those two particular organizations?
Terrible.
I mean, what are you doing? Are you trying to get better? Like, are you essentially saying, okay, because I'm mad because you're not here, Trent Williams. We're not gonna trade you. I'm gonna, what Mom used to say, cut off your nose and spite your face. That's what we rolling with. Daniel Snyder and Bruce Allen, y'all boys in the clubhouse drinking your Coors Light, chilling. Just holding on to players for whatever reason. I can't. My mind is blown, bro.
I think it's ego. That's what I think. At least in Washington's case, I think it's definitely ego. I mean, you recognize Trent Williams, when healthy, is an elite offensive tackle. He's elite. And Sam, in terms of his pass protection, I mean, you can't get much better than that. You understand what I'm saying? So I understand the hesitance to want to move on from him, but that relationship had soured to the point of, you know what? Let's maximize the value. And if we don't get the asking price, well, then we hold on to him, just as they've done, ultimately. That's what it's come down to. Apparently, you know, as a trade deadline, came up, he became, willing to report. You know what I mean? He fails the physical because when he puts his helmet on, the part where he had that benign growth, there's discomfort there, whatever the case may be. I'm of the mindset that because of the nature of how that relationship deteriorated, it was one of those situations, especially when you're talking about a player of that caliber, you need to move on. You need to maximize the value for that player. If they tried to move him here at the deadline without having any prior discussions, because they weren't willing to have discussions apparently, then you're not going to get the offers that you're looking for. You don't have the time to say, you know what, call me back when you come with a better deal. You understand what I'm saying? So, I think their ego, ultimately, in terms of on the one hand saying, or predominantly I should say, saying, you know what, we're not going to give in to this player. We're not going to give in to this player. He's not going to make the demands here. But your medical staff screwed up. He doesn't trust them. You understand what I'm saying? To me, you got to swallow that one. You got to understand that, you know what, we put ourselves in this position. Let's now make the best of it. Because I'm not convinced Trent Williams ever plays another down for Washington.
I don't think he will.
I'm not convinced of it.
You know who's not playing another down for the team because they released him? Was it how you say? I'm gonna kill his name. The left guard for the former left guard. There we go. You got it. Thank you very much. Malpractice?
It appears that way. It's another organization that I just don't really get it. I don't really understand the decision, man. I'm talking about from X's and O's all the way through personnel. I do not understand what they're doing. Now, it's not just on front office and coaches. There are players who are not playing well, i.e. Sam Darnold. Okay? But there's a lot of dysfunction. It's difficult for a young quarterback to succeed when there's so much dysfunction going on in the organization. You mentioned the Bengals and the AJ Green situation. I mean, it comes as no surprise with the Bengals. It comes as no surprise. I imagine AJ Green will ultimately get tagged. You know what I mean? He's going this will, and considering the injuries he's had, it's going to be a proven type of situation.
Summer after he got hurt. Plus, Green said Larry Fitz is his idol and wants to play for one team.
And I don't disagree or not believe AJ Green. I think he does, but I also think AJ Green wants to be paid. You understand what I'm saying? So either he's going to get the money with the Bengals, the money that he wants, not necessarily what the owner wants, but the money he wants to stay a Bengal, or he's going to go get it somewhere else. I don't think it's happening this year, though. I get what the owner said, but I mean, that's what the owner said.
Yeah, you think about football economics and the history with the organization and everything. It's kind of hard for me to think that the Bengals are going to give this guy AJ Green a big deal.
Especially after dealing with injury. Well, we already knew that was going to happen.
Wow.
We already knew that was going to happen.
Okay, all right.
I don't know how the ball got through there, but I knew it was a minute and 43 seconds.
No, it's 4 seconds left, isn't it?
No, not 4 seconds now. But it was a minute and 43
Yeah.
seconds when New England got the ball, and
They just kept feeding Edelman, and look at this right here.
Come on, bro.
What's doing, Marcus Peters? Watching it.
That ain't real, bro. That's a video game.
But speaking of AJ Green, I just thought the Bengals asking price was too much. Probably, I'm sure the Patriots gave them a call before they acquired Mohamed Sanu to see what the asking range was, and it was too high. But to me, I don't think I think AJ Green will be tagged before he gets a big money deal with the Bengals.
I agree wholeheartedly. Like I said, dealing with the injuries that he's had in recent
Discuss
years.
the AJ Green potential contract.
You said Edge Green?
He said, discuss the AJ Green potential contract. Like, what do you think?
So where does he fall in terms of the top receivers?
I think
Hey,
what he's looking for
He's top 5 money.
is absolutely, but we're talking about I'm going to say it on an annual basis. Right now, the bar is Julio Jones at $22 million. He's not going to get $22 million. That's not happening. But if he comes in, well, 18 is the tag. That's where it starts.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to be comfortable with 18.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to be comfortable. I think he's going to be looking for 21 and a half. I think that's what AJ is going to to be looking for.
How many games?
I don't think he's going to take anything less than what Michael Thomas got.
Or like 1.8 million.
The Bengals aren't
$20 million, like $18 million.
No, like I said, I think the tag is at 18 million, if I'm not mistaken. So that's where the bar starts. That's where negotiation starts at 18 million. All right. Julio's making 22 per year.
Yeah.
Okay. The middle point is 20. That's where Michael Thomas is. I think anywhere from 20 to 21. I think they got it. Whomever's willing to offer that. That's what that contract looks like. 4 or 5 year deal at 20 to 21 a year.
We don't think the Bengals is going to let him walk into free agency.
No, he's going to be tagged before they let him walk. He's definitely going to be tagged.
You know what the guarantee was for Julio?
It's fully guaranteed.
Yeah.
Never mind. Okay.
Fully guaranteed.
Never mind. That definitely not happening. Unless that's what he's looking for. Could be 18, but fully guaranteed. It's possible. So I mean, hey. But anyway, that's it. That's the game of the week. Who won that game? Patriots.
Hail Mary?
Yeah, we already know what happened, man.
Cheaters.
The cheat was in. Cheatgate, whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
But that's it, man. CouchPotatoGM.com is the website. Couch Potato General Manager is the YouTube channel. You know it because you're on it. We've done Game of the Week. I don't know who Game of the Week is next week, but we will be back next week to discuss, talk, chop it up. Probably won't be talking trades. What are we going to be talking about? AFC West.
The league, man.
Talk about AFC West next week. Talk about Patrick Mahomes, Joe Flacco.
Joe Flacco ain't there, man.
Herniated disc.
Got benched.
Yeah.
Hurt?
Pretty
Yeah,
much.
they call him a herniated disc, but yeah, he got benched running his mouth.
How about Phillip Rivers? How he doing?
He's still out there.
Well, we'll see if the firing of Wiz makes any difference in terms of that offense.
Okay.
We'll see, man. And Andy Dalton got fired on his day off.
Got fired on his day off?
No, on his birthday
Oh,
and his day off.
Okay. I mean, that's, hey man, sometimes that's how it is, and then we can talk about Derek Carr, man. How he doing with John Gruden, the Las Vegas Raiders. Don't forget, coordinate.
You know what you're doing, bro?
Yeah.